Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. The end is nigh. I don't know if you were aware, but you're aware now. For real this time. Trust me, bro. There are but two paths everyone must choose. No one is allowed to stay on the island of indifference anymore. All must choose. You are in the final act. I am sorry I did not choose it. You did. Path 1. God, Jesus Christ, goodness, decency, the law. Path 2. The imp, the Antichrist. The apocalypse, Armageddon. The lake. Choose now. Congratulations, you have chosen the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to bloody see you, a bloody gayin'. It appears Donnie let something slip today that he ought not to. About a certain strike in Venezuela. Let us begin. Before I get to the strike thing, yet again, how many places have we heard fucking Rwanda, fucking Libya? I don't even know. Just anywhere you can, whatever shithole you can think of on the map. Those are places with your tax money in the millions. They reach out to, and they being the fucking Reich, seeing if they'll take human beings, and they don't give a fuck what happens to those human beings afterwards. That's where we are at in America, where the Reich shops around to various third world shitholes, and I mean shitholes, where you gon' die if they send you, and everybody fucking knows it. Asking, hey, who wants to take millions? Which tribal leader wants to take, $15 million to just take these people and do whatever, kill them, enslave them, whatever you want to do? And all I have to say to anybody that wants to make an argument for this, fuck you. If it was your ass going to Rwanda, Mr. White Invader, whatever color invader you are, because Native Americans were here first. I don't know if you know, jerk off. If you arguing for this, the lake is your only destination, son. One way. This is just one example out of, 30 over the past year. I don't even talk about them all. I don't have time to. In other words, so much evil is being done, I don't even have time to report it all, let alone understand it all. The tiny nation of Palau, where 2 seasons of Survivor were filmed. Yeah, big fucking joke, right? And I'm not talking to the guy. He's not making a joke. Has agreed to take 75 migrants for $7.5 million. They have not been charged with crimes and will be put to work filling labor shortages. Now you really are on Survivor. It's not funny. And we all goddamn know what filling labor shortages is. There's a word we used to call that, just like we used to call guys that jump out of vans in masks with machine guns and take people away. We used to call them terrorists and kidnappers. Somehow, reality has gotten inverted with you cunts, all destined for the lake, son. Every single person that made this happen and is down with it, lest you turn away. which you won't. I know. Because you know better. I know. That's why it's all over. Because you know better. It's what it really all comes down to. Bunch of greedy people, racist people, and idiots that knew better. Your knowing better has one end: the lake. Lest you turn away, son, and stop knowing better. Deadly fucking serious. That's the lake of fire, by the way, to be very crystal fucking clear. In the spiritual realm, where it matters. How do I know? Your Antichrist is in power right now. That's how I fucking know. Because unlike you, I was looking for the signs, son. I was always keeping an eye out, just in case. And then you cunts came along, and your Antichrist came along. There's a word we used to call that, where you sell people to another country and they make you work. It's called fucking slavery. Cunts. That's what your tax money is buying now, and I'm sure it's already bought extermination when they send these people to God knows where. How the fuck would we even know if they're alive or dead? That tells me they dead. In other words, your money has already paid for extermination. Your money is, and your government has already starved millions of people by cutting programs. Your government is funding concentration camps in other countries just like Adolf Hitler fucking did. And I don't want to hear one goddamn jerk off ever say to me, oh, no one died though in any of those camps. How the fuck would you know? Of course they fucking have. And this is from the Daily Mail. This is what the person's commenting on. Tiny survivor island in Pacific Ocean with population of 18,000 to start taking Trump's deportees. Oh, and making them work. That's called slavery, son. That's what your goddamn name's on. Your goddamn name. Your accursed fucking name. Fuck everybody that made this happen. Every goddamn one of you. Because it's going to be Americans facing this. You understand that, right, idiot? Of course you fucking don't. Until your ass is on the boat or the plane or in the goddamn camp yourself. That's the only time you'll give a fuck. That's why there's only one place for you, son. You understand that, though. Again, no, you don't. I forget who I'm talking to. And you know who I'm talking to. This was all a doorway to get to you people. By you people, I mean American fucking citizens. What did Donnie say to Bukele when he visited? Next up is the homegrowns. Ha, 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 ha. You fucking morons. So when some of you finally wake up, when it comes knocking on your specific fucking door, and I promise it will knock on everyone's door. When it does, and you finally wake up, only because it's hurting you, not because of what you've done, you'll never wake up to that. That's why there's only one place for you. When you face that moment and you finally say, oh shit, I've been fucked by the guy I put in charge, with my vote, with my preaching. When that moment comes and you get grabbed because you finally get tired of it, you can't just lie about it anymore because now it's taken your life, something you care about, And it will, son. Don't worry. It'll be too late. You'll be on the plane. You'll be on the ship. You'll be on the train to God knows fucking where. Rwanda, whatever this is, Palau, whatever fucking third world shithole joke. Some of you. Because he's here to ruin and devour and loot and dismantle chaos, evil. It's going to come knocking on every single one of your doors. And that's when you understand what the crazy guy was saying, or what the people out there that you see and hear, that you laugh at. Ha ha ha, it's a football game, I won. You'll understand the victory when you're on the goddamn plane, train, whatever, to the fucking camp, wherever, being, how'd they put it? Filling labor shortages. Cunt. That's when so many of you will finally get it. And it'll be way too late. And you won't have any concern for your fellow man. I already know that about you. It'll be poor me, and you'll get it. And it'll be too late. It was all the doorway to get to you again. Every tyrant, every tyranny in the history of fucking time, it eventually affected everyone's life, not just the people you don't fucking like, morons. A shame you didn't learn that lesson from history. Maybe it wouldn't be the fucking apocalypse. Maybe we'd have a future. Palau. So some corrupt fuck there has agreed to take $7 million. How noble of him. Or them. You know, to enslave people. Marjorie Taylor Greene did another interview because she's trying to salvage something out of all this bullshit. Again, one of the head howler monkeys for this whole MAGA thing for the past 10 fucking years. Enjoying every minute of it, baby. Now she's crying on her shoulder again every day. Now she's releasing information. Letting Dottie know she can still do damage. A shame, Margie. You know what tells me all I need to know about you, Margie? You're not doing that damage. That tells me the main calculation for you is your political career. And you don't care about anything else. Because this man called you a fucking traitor. And you still ain't doing that damage. That tells me all I need to know, son. And I mean son. After the hearing, Greene held a news conference at which she threatened to identify some of the men who had abused the women. Well, she never did that. Greene says that she didn't know those names herself, but that she could have gotten them from the victims. Right. Trump called Greene to voice his displeasure. Greene was in her Capitol Hill office, and according to staff members, everyone in the suite of rooms could hear him yelling at her as she listened to him on speakerphone. Greene says she expressed her perplexity over his intransigence. According to Greene, Trump replied, "My friends will get hurt." That's Donnie's way of saying he'll get hurt. Doesn't give a fuck about anybody else. But yeah, maybe a few people that are rich like him might get hurt. Is Donnie expressing concern for the victims here? No, he's expressing concern for the perpetrators. That's your boy, the Antichrist, the pedophile, who's one of the main perpetrators. This is him talking to one of his most loyal howler monkey bitches. When she urged Trump to invite some of Epstein's female victims to the Oval Office, she says he angrily informed her that they had done nothing to merit the honor. I told you he's the Antichrist, right? People like Marge Green, people like Michael Cohen, and several others Lev Parnas, who've allegedly, turned over a new leaf. There's a lot of information they are not sharing. They could bury this motherfucker, and they don't do it. That tells me all I need to know about them. That their conversions are not sincere. So they've done nothing to merit the honor, the rape victims of Epstein and Trump and many others. It would be the last conversation Green and Trump would ever have. So Margie was a traitor after that. I have a feeling there's more to this story. I have a feeling Margie was also discussing with Donnie at some point, not necessarily in this conversation, but around this time, about her Senate future. Because there's been, again, way before this went down, when the cat fight first started going on between Donnie and Marge, just started, AOC let us know that she wants to be in the Senate, and Donnie wasn't backing her. So again, Miss Sporkfoot, I'm not buying the conversion. And I know you know details and things that could bury this motherfucker in 5 seconds. You are not saying them. You're concerned for the victims, the women. You say you're concerned. You say you can get names. You haven't gotten those names, and you didn't say those names. So your concern is a lie. That's just her catering to the percentage of her base that still cares about the Epstein stuff. She knows she needs those people. So 2 basic pieces of information. Donnie yelling his ass off at the thought Marge might reveal names. And one thing he said specifically, my friends will get hurt. That means Donnie will get hurt. And the other thing, he said the victims had done nothing to merit the honor. Again, you're pedophile messiah. We have this information for certain now. His main concern in the conversation with Miss Sporkfoot was him and his friends, not the victims. And he even went as far to say, why would I have the victims? Why would I let them speak? What have they done to deserve that? I told you he's the Antichrist, right? Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. Donnie, in a kind of dementia moment, I guess, or he just like a little boy, he likes bragging to his friends about the big tough stuff he does. It came from CNN. Donnie did some like recorded audio interview somewhere, and CNN heard about it, where Donnie talked about bombing a site in Venezuela. It had already taken place. And I look at these situations, I didn't know about the CIA and where this all goes when I first thought this. Donnie's like a little boy who shit his pants. He's embarrassed that he shit his pants. He wants to be a big boy and not wear diapers anymore. His mommy and daddy can kind of smell it, though. So they say, son, did you make a thing there? No, daddy, no. I didn't. I'm a big boy. That's Donnie when he tells us about these bombings and shit now. After the fact, in a kind of just matter-of-fact way, like a little boy who finally admits he shit his pants. Because Donnie knows he's doing something wrong, and that he's done something wrong, and that each one of these events will be scrutinized. That's the way he's kind of been announcing them lately. But there's another piece to this which I didn't know till the end of the day. Because a lot of people were reporting that this strike never happened, that they may have told Donnie it happened, but it didn't. And Donnie, in a dementia moment, was just kind of just bragging about something that didn't actually take place. Then later on in the day, the CIA had to come out and admit that they struck a site down there because Donnie ran his fucking mouth. The CIA would have never told us about that. What did Donnie do, class? He blabbed classified information to the whole fucking world as president again. Because this ain't the first time. Am I proud of the CIA for what they've done? No. That's not what I'm saying here. But it was classified. And you have the president blabbing classified fucking info that we would have never known about. I'm glad he did, because I was thinking about another situation in Iran today, and I was thinking CIA. Now I know for sure the CIA's all up in that fucking shit in Venezuela. John F. Kennedy. Go all the way back to that time the CIA was trying to overthrow Castro. John didn't give them the air support they needed. They brought mercenaries to the United States, trained them. They financed that with drug money, just like the CIA finances everything with. How many movies are made about that? CIA financed this with drugs, that with drugs, this with drugs, that with drugs. That's how they finance shit. Plus their budget, of course. So, has the right-wing political agenda really changed at all since 1945? No, it's been exactly what I said. Take over the world, expansion, steal resources, overthrow governments, dictatorship. We don't like democracy. CIA is a right-wing organization. You won't find many liberals there, son, trust me. Doing the same exact thing the CIA and the right-wing political machine was doing back in JFK's day. That's why they killed his ass. He wasn't going along with the program. The CIA, I mean, killed him. That's who I think killed him. So again, we have another situation that's framed as the war on fucking drugs, where the CIA's bombing sites that we don't even know about. That means they trying to stage a coup down there. That's why Donnie's all cozied up with the rebel leader down in Venezuela. Little does she know, she's making a deal with the devil. It ain't gonna work out for you, honey. It never does. Whenever we, as humans, make a deal with the devil. What I mean by that is do something we shouldn't do to get to an end goal we want to get to. Partner up with nefarious bad people or bad things to get to that end goal. The end justifies the means. It never does, son. And I'm sure all of us have learned that lesson the hard way. The very hard way. But some of us can at least say we didn't support the Antichrist. In fact, we spoke out against him. At least we can say that. Trump says U.S. knocked out big facility as part of his Venezuela campaign. So the original reporting was CNN. They heard this weird little interview with Donnie, audio, and they reported, oh, wow, we hit a site in Venezuela. Then throughout the day, no one really heard about it. No one could confirm. Then later on, since Donnie blabbed classified info, the CIA now had to disclose. We would have never known about it otherwise. Trump said the U.S. took out a big facility last week as part of a pressure campaign against Venezuela, but provided few additional details on the action. We just knocked it out. I don't know if you read or you saw. They have a big plant or a big facility where the ships come from. 2 nights ago, we knocked that out, so we hit them very hard. Trump told John Catsimatidis, the major Republican donor whose radio show airs on WABC. The interview occurred on Friday. So Donnie straight up blabbed a CIA operation that they would have never told us about. Amazing. If Biden did that, we all know he'd be rubbing shit on the walls. Okay, Donnie had Bibi Netanyahu at the White House, I believe, yet again today. And many interesting statements were made. This is what they look like in the beginning. Bibi smiling, especially when Donnie was talking about helping him get a pardon. Oh, there was a report first thing in the morning today, a lie put out by Putin, obviously, that Ukraine tried to bomb one of his personal residences. Of course, anything Putin says is a fucking lie. The guy, he lies before he wakes up in the morning. Let's put it that way. He's that bad. I don't like it. This is Donnie commenting on it in front of Bibi. A Vlad talking point straight up. I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning. You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. I was very angry about it. I bet you were, Donnie Krasnov. Donnie sure talks to Putin an awful lot, doesn't he? And we don't get transcripts of the conversation. You notice that, assholes? Unbelievable. Ukraine vehemently denies Russia's claim that it launched a drone attack on one of Putin's residences. That's a reporter. Donnie answers. You're saying maybe the attack didn't take place? That's possible too, I guess. But President Putin told me this morning it did, so that it must have happened. Right, Donnie Krasnov? Right. Oh my God. It could not be clearer. And I'm talking way back in the first term, when he fired Comey and had Lavrov, Kissinger, and Kislyak in the fucking White House the next day. It just couldn't be any clearer that he's been a straight up Russian asset since the 80s. And no, he didn't just go over there for talking points. He needed fucking money. So it ain't just compromat that I think the Russians have on Donnie. I think he owes them fucking money. But whatever. Now they're asking Donnie about the, bombing in Venezuela that they didn't even fucking tell us about. And again, son, we all the way back in JFK days where they trying to overthrow Cuba, we haven't progressed in any way, shape, or form. CIA still right-wing as fuck, still down with the Reich. Got plenty of Nazis in there, obviously. George Bush Sr., New World Order man himself. And they doing the same thing they were doing back in Kennedy's day. And they probably financing the whole fucking thing with drug money. As we frame it, just like they always have, That's the war on drugs. That's why we're blowing these people up. That's why we're stealing their assets. That's why we're stealing their drugs and selling them. That's why we're mass murdering people. That's why we're bombing people. Because of the war on drugs. When they finance everything they do with drugs. Again, how many movies have they made, son? Those are based on real people. Standard operating procedure with the CIA. They can do anything with drug money. You're talking major amounts of money in fucking minutes when you get large quantities of cocaine. Can you say any more about the explosion in Venezuela that you mentioned in a radio interview? Did the military do that? Donnie, well, it doesn't matter. Donnie realizes he fucked up. Donnie realizes he might get prosecuted for war crimes. Donnie realized he blabbed classified info he wasn't supposed to. So he's trying to... Well, it doesn't matter. But there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. We hit that area. Did we see a kilo of coke yet, son? They keep using the word drugs. Yet I don't see no kilos. Yeah, that's why he initially answered the question with, well, it doesn't matter, plus he doesn't care. But what he's really trying to do, because again, he's a small child, which I've been able to observe every single day for 10 years now. He knows the situation is a fuck up by him, a major one. Classified information blabbed right to the public. CIA operation. That's why he answers with, well, it doesn't matter. He wants that gone. He realizes the fuck up. Trump announces he has lobbied the president of Israel to give a full pardon to Bibi, and a pardon is on its way. That's a quote, the on its way part. The president is a guy named Herzog. So Donnie, the criminal, trying to get Bibi, the criminal, a pardon. Here's kind of the sit-down little lunch or whatever they fucking had. Look how nice and gold and wonderful the table is, and I'm sure the food's wonderful. You know why? Because you're paying for it, jerk-offs. That's why. Trump ranting to Netanyahu on a hot mic. Do I get credit for it? No. They gave the knob. I did 8 of them. How about India and Pakistan? So I did 8 of them, and then I'll tell you the rest of it. He's talking about how he didn't get the Nobel. And he's bragging, of course, and trying to figure out how many wars does he get credit for stopping? Right after they bombed Venezuela. Oh, I forgot there was another boat strike today. I believe they killed 2 people down in the Caribbean in that boat. So the body count goes up there. God knows how many they killed in the CIA dock operation. Again, as all this is going on, in between bombing Nigeria, in between bombing Venezuela, or Somalia, or Iran, or whatever, in between, Gaza being ash. He's wondering at his gold-plated table, on your dime, of course, son. Once again, he's wondering how many wars, and he's boasting of how many wars he's stopped, and that he should have got the prize. You understand, again, you're fucking doomed, right? And I don't say that lightly. I'm dead fucking serious. That's all I hear with all them words he said. All I hear is, I'm fucking doomed. America's doomed. The world is doomed. Fucking doomed. Again, the table, take a look. These are the people that are going to lead us all to the fucking abyss. And this ain't all of them, but it's some of them. The Holy Land part. That's what they took first, son. See the smile on Bibi's face today at the White House when he was standing out there with Donnie? That's because Bibi, Donnie, Jared, they all know they about to make a lot of money, have some beachfront resort property, rebuild Gaza. Bibi knows he's going to further expand Israel. Bibi will have more control in the region. Israel will have more control in the region. It's a dream come true for Bibi. The U.S. delegation for Trump's meeting with Netanyahu includes Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and Stephen Miller. Netanyahu, Donnie Shipbags, the Antichrist, Miller, Witkoff, Kushner. So you know who's about to make some real money over in Gaza. Notice how Kushner jumped into the picture right before the building started. Just so you know what his involvement's about. Just like they said in the beginning. Remember in the beginning, we're going to build resorts. They showed us the commercial, the fucking satanic ass fucking just AI generated commercial with the Donnie Gold statues on the fucking Holy Land, which couldn't scream Antichrist anymore. Was there ever a leader that wanted gold statues of themselves besides Roman Caesars on the Holy Land? I don't know of any, but I got to look at the history books. Because as I listen to more stories, straight history, knowledge, not dumb shit, I'm discovering that same behavior that's in Donnie, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, and how bad Napoleon was. All the details. The tyrant displays the same traits over and over, and I'm realizing there were so many more tyrants than I was aware of. Many of them employed the same tactics. Over and over again, the same thing. For eons on this planet. Just the next asshole that wants to conquer the world. I'm personally sick of it. I'm tired of watching this pattern. How did I get on that? I don't know. Kushner, Miller, Witkoff, Antichrist, Bibi, some of the main players. That's going to lead us all to the abyss. Again, Donnie and Bibi out front, and it looks like this. I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them. Again, I ask, can Donnie get his peace prize now? He goes from out front saying we're about to bomb Iran again if they, step out of line in any way, shape, or form. And then when he's inside at the table, he's like, can you believe they didn't give me the Nobel? I stopped they fucking wars. Meanwhile, 10 minutes ago, he said this outside. Donnie was giving glowing praise of Bibi. And one of the things he said, if you had the wrong prime minister, Israel right now would not exist. So if Bibi wasn't there, Israel would be just, I don't know, overrun and devoured by its enemies. Is that what Donnie's trying to say? Yeah, that's not true. I mean, what I usually see is the majority of the fucking country out on the streets protesting for him to get the fuck out. That's usually what I see. But Donnie was just heaping praise on him. And Donnie and Jared and all them, they're thinking of all the fucking money they're going to make, the resorts they're going to build, all that shit, their high rises. And I don't know, maybe Donnie knows who he is. And he needs that temple down the line. I often wonder about Donnie, is he doing more of an act than I even realize sometimes? Because I know he does this for certain. Because he knows it works. acts like old and kind of dementia-ridden sometimes when he's talking about something very evil. And I often wonder when he does that, I think to myself, is he doing an act right there? Because again, this is all planned for a long time. And they're all into some weird occult bullshit. I can tell by the fact that Pete Thale's out there saying, if you don't like AI, you're of the Antichrist, giving lectures which are directly the opposite interpretations of Scripture. I can tell by Leon wearing his Baphomet. I can tell by goat statues at Mar-a-Lago. These people are about something. They don't show it overtly because it's taboo. It's called Satan worship. I'm not kidding. Not like your friends next door that dress in black robes. Again, they're a joke. How do I know they're real Satanists if they into that? And they into that. They've risen to the heights of society. None of them talented whatsoever. Only one thing makes that happen for untalented, bloviating, fucking fat asses. Men like Donnie, like Leon, like Pete Thale, like others. The devil. Why? Because the devil runs this realm. He ran it the second Adam and Eve, or however that went down. Fucked it all up. It went from perfect to entropy and imperfect. And man's stuck in that prison. Till death. That's simple. This is the devil's realm. That's why evil men rise to the fucking top. Every day, all day. Now Donnie's talking about Iran and jointly striking Iran with Israel, what they did before. We just won a big war together. If we didn't beat Iran, you wouldn't have had peace in the Middle East. Trump on his relationship with Netanyahu, peace in the Middle East, yet they bombed Iran. Yet there's still skirmishes on pretty much a daily basis between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Pretty much every war that Donnie has stopped, everywhere Donnie has made a peace treaty, brokered one, they still fight. But again, son, this is the important part. Me and you, son, this is the important part. Listen to me. All of that is semantic bullshit. The peace deal is still the prophesied peace deal in Scripture that hermeneutics and teachers been teaching about since before I was born. Making tapes, CDs, putting out a collection of their prophetic interpretations. I've listened to many different teachers. I know the trends of the past 30 years and before that. In hermeneutic style predictions or interpretations. Many people gave that lesson. Whoever makes that peace deal is the Antichrist. Whoever makes that peace deal will renege at a certain point. What I'm trying to tell you, son, is no matter if it's a real peace or not, you still in the apocalypse, son. It's still that peace deal. It doesn't have to be perfect and real. Just like, son, here's the lesson, son. Just like the miracles. When I was a young scamp, reading prophecy for the first time, reading about this guy who would get a head wound. How the fuck would that be? Some Pope religious figure by the White House maybe gets shot in the head for real. This is how I viewed it. And gets up as if they didn't get shot in the head. And it heals and they live. In other words, I thought it would be a real death blow. A real kind of, I guess you could call it, resurrection. When I read the prophecy, Revelation. Before 10 years ago, of course. And I always wondered how that would play out. Fire raining from the heavens, the false prophet's criteria. False prophet, that means he's spreading a message in league with the Antichrist. Eventually, he'll ask you to worship the Antichrist and worship the image, and we need to make an image. Leon's all about that image, called Grok, called AI. Altman, maybe it's him, maybe I'm wrong. False prophet, again, that implies someone, doesn't, it more than implies, it states a prophet is someone who preaches on behalf of something. It doesn't have to be a god, it could be anything. You're preaching some message to people. If you worked for a fucking ad agency, your sales pitch for your agency, well, that's your gospel you are preaching to people for a reason. That's what I'm talking about. Who better than Leon preached the gospel, bought a whole website, the world's most powerful website as far as text and spreading information. Leon bought it with Puff Daddy, Putin, and others. The Saudis. All the people that love us. And sex traffickers. Where was I going with this? The miracles. So the preaching part for Leon has pretty much taken place. And then he was co-chancellor again. We got a pair. Like in 1939 Germany. Very strange for America. Not a vice president or president. A pair. Co-chancellors. Leon was in the Oval Office with his kid. Telling Donnie to fuck off. In front of the whole fucking world. Don't ever forget that. One of the other criteria, again, for the Antichrist. Fire raining from the heavens in the sight of men. Leon has done that multiple times with the rocket explosions. It literally looks like fire raining down. Or it could be Stephen Miller with his, blowing up boats in the Caribbean. And those videos we see of that. Could be both of them. The Antichrist could have a different prophet as time goes by. First it was Leon, and Stephen, Many false prophets. My point is, just like that peace deal not quite being a real peace deal, kind of a joke actually, doesn't mean it's not the prophesied peace deal in Scripture. Doesn't mean that whatsoever, because it is the prophesied peace deal. Just because those miracles weren't actual miracles does not mean they're not the prophesied miracles in Scripture. They are. Which makes logical sense knowing what I know. The devil doesn't have the power of Jesus Christ, doesn't have the power of God the Father. The devil is an imp. He has some power, yes, greater than a human would have. He was almost second in command in power and knowledge and all that. But he ain't God. He ain't Christ. He ain't the Holy Spirit. He can't do miracles. How do I know? Donnie Shitbags, Leon Scum. That's how I know. So one more time in closing on this part. Just because it ain't a real peace, don't mean it ain't the prophesied peace deal that you've heard in countless hermeneutics lessons throughout the decades. Just because the miracles weren't actual miracles that defy physics and modern technology and all that, doesn't mean they're not the prophesied miracles. Everything's a lie with the devil. Everything's a lie with the devil. Let me take a break for a moment. And I'll be back quickly. Talk amongst yourselves or something. All two of you. Okay. Commercial break over. Drink some of this real quick. Oh my God, I forgot about this. So many embarrassments per day. You can't keep track of them all. This is Bibi and Donnie at the podiums this time with the press. Images of the end of your world. Allegedly, everything that was done on imperfect Earth will be erased. I don't know how that will work. Will we all just forget? Sounds kind of fucked up, actually. I don't know. So, all the things you find interesting on the Earth, I suggest, I don't know, say a little goodbye to them. Appreciate them, as long as they're good. And images like this even that aren't good, I assume they'll all be erased. Bibi announces that he's awarding the Israel Prize to President Trump. Trump says it's surprising and very much appreciated. Right, surprising. Again, this is how I know we're doomed as well. This isn't the first time someone's just pulled a prize out their ass and presented it to Donnie, or they're going to present it to Donnie, as some type of fucking participation trophy because they know Donnie just likes trophies. He has the nuclear football, too, and control of it. Morons. And you know who I'm talking to. That should scare the living fuck out of you, even if you voted for it. So another participation trophy, another fake award for Donnie Shitbags, as Gaza is ash. Because that's what's important. Speaking of Gaza, I'm glad, good segue. Donnie's at the podium. They brought up Gaza and I guess a number of people in Gaza. I heard that number today. Oh, half of Gaza would leave. I've always said it. Yeah, we know, Donnie. We know what the plan was. I've been yelling about it since January. I was yelling about it before the election. I was yelling at the people who are about to vote for Donnie Shitbags or not vote at all because of the the Palestine-Israel issue and what Biden and Kamala were responsible for. I was yelling at the time, you're about to put Bibi's best fucking friend in office. If you think it's bad now, you haven't seen bad, son. You don't know what bad is. Gaza is now rubble. And the plan was, before they even made it rubble, Bibi and Donnie's plan, before the election and after, was get rid of those people. Well, they killed a lot of them in Gaza. And the rest, obviously, the plan was always, even though Donnie and Bibi pretended it wasn't, we back to the original plan. Yeah, they can all leave. Just like, again, the agenda was, we're going to build resorts. Then they toned that down. We're going to build housing. Now they're back to just straight up smiles and we're building whatever the fuck we feel like. Back to the original plan. Just like here. The original plan was to clear out the Gazans. I've always said it. I said if they were given the opportunity to live in a better climate, they would move. We're helping the people of Gaza a lot. So is Israel, by the way. Really? Because the tents and the food lines I see, they don't look like the people are being very helped. If they had the opportunity, well, they have more than the opportunity. They have no fucking choice, which was the point. Again, Donnie talked about this all the way back in the beginning. This was the original plan. Turn it into ash. Donnie talked about it numerous times. There's nothing to go back to. They gotta leave. He said it a million times, and then he stopped talking about it altogether. Now they're right back to where they always were. Yeah, we're going to move them. If given the opportunity, of course they would want to move. Their homeland is ash. Do you understand that? There is nothing to go back to, so it'll just lightly speak of this. If they were given the opportunity. Oh, you mean if you turn their entire living space into rubble? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean by the word opportunity? Look, there was never anything noble in this for Bibi and the boys here. It was always, we've been wanting to do this for a long time. We've had the military strength to do this for a long time. We about to take over the Middle East. And Israel's about to, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Claim its glory. And we're going to do the things we were always afraid to do because the world would see it. And they would turn on us. And by that I mean we're going to level parts of Palestine, entire segments of society, and displace a few million people. Same thing happened to the Jews countless times throughout history. Now they're the ones doing it. It's just so ridiculous, you know, and unlike the rest of you out there, unlike the press, unlike everybody, I remember back in January. I remember when the commercial came out like it was fucking yesterday. I remember when they were talking every single day in the White House in front of the fucking cameras. Yeah, we're going to remove the Gazans and send them somewhere. We're talking to several countries here, there, you know. Then they stopped talking about it. Now we're going to build housing. They just stopped talking about it. As if they were going a different direction when they never fucking were. We right back to January. Just like with the CIA bombing Venezuela, regime change down there so they can steal resources. We're right back to JFK and the fucking Cuban thing. The right wing in this country, man. They ended up being the destruction of this country, of this world. The pseudo-Nazi white supremacist party in America. What a shame. Of course, Donnie has to cap it off. We're helping the people of Gaza a lot, so is Israel. No. No. All I see are tent camps in rubble and food lines where people get shot. That's all I see. Your revenge has been gotten, Israel, long time ago for the attack. But a long time ago, with Bibi, the attack was always an excuse to do this. And I really wonder, I don't know this, I'm not saying it definitely happened. I really do wonder if Bibi Netanyahu knew that attack was coming and he was like, you know, it's going to save my fucking life. I always pictured Israel, again, as a border state. Palestine, Israel, Gaza's in Palestine, where Israel had troops along the entire border in case anyone started shit. So I was really surprised the day of that attack. I'm like, where are the troops at? What is this? Where are the fucking troops? All the pictures I see of Israel, checkpoints and border checks and this and that. Somehow this entire force just gets in and kills so many people, takes so many hostage. I didn't think Israel was that kind of place. It's even that day, it seemed weird to me. So I really wonder, and Bibi again was about to go to fucking prison. I really wonder if he knew about this and allowed it to happen. And for Bibi and the boys here, it was never about getting revenge for October 7th. It was about what they're doing right now. Bibi always knew where this was going. That was the plan. Level Gaza. Then we don't need to pay for demolition, do we? On the American taxpayer using their bombs. It was always the plan to level Gaza and remove the people. Now we right back there. For Bibi and the people at the top, the finance minister of Israel, Donnie, never about revenge. It was about the plan they had. And boy, just that October 7th attack, it was really the excuse Bibi was looking for. Really kind of saved his life, made him the hero of Israel again, huh? In other words, once again, revenge has been gotten a long time ago. What's going on is something completely different now. And there's no righteousness in it. I'm sorry. And you have a segment of the Jewish population in this world, and especially Israel. You made a deal with Nazis to achieve your ends. That will end up the destruction of Israel, most likely. You're also setting yourself up to be betrayed one more time. These are Nazis. Number one core tenet of Nazism: we hate Jews. You think they forgot that? They never forgot that. They need that community right now for something. When they don't, the Jewish community especially, I just don't understand how all of you can't see that you would eventually be targets by actual Nazis. They're not exactly hiding it. Obvious RFK and Oz are eugenics apologists. Obvious Thale and Leon are eugenics apologists, transhumanist. That's what they want. All the shit Alex Jones taught you. I said the liberals were going to do it. No, it was you, son. Always you. Nobody else. You and your people. Let me move on. The press, I guess, checked in with Herzog when they heard about the pardon that was coming up for Bibi Netanyahu. Herzog's office told us that you have not talked after the official pardon request of Netanyahu. Trump, which request? Herzog. President Erdogan? Herzog. Oh, you're talking about pardon. No, I think he's going to be in great shape. It sounds like Herzog is like, yeah, I didn't agree to giving Bibi any pardon. That's probably going to make me look horrible politically in Israel. Um, in other words, the press looked into it, and it sounds like Herzog did not confirm what Donnie said. So again, Donnie got caught in another lie. I have a feeling Donnie will find a way to make Herzog give Bibi that pardon, because he cannot have Bibi go into prison. He can't have Herzog or the Israeli whatever Knesset cabinet, whoever they are, fuck up Donnie's groove. I told you all roads lead to the Holy Land. That's the first place Donnie took. Very important to him, to them. He would never let Bibi be put in prison. He'd probably have the military fucking come bust him out. I'm not kidding. So if Herzog and some people have some ideas, I guarantee Donnie's willing to go all the way to make sure those ideas don't happen. That's why you already got 200 troops on your soil, son. Because Donnie runs the Holy Land now, Mr. Herzog. Donnie runs Israel now. Bibi doesn't even know that yet. But once you let the wolf in, you can't just ask him to leave. And he devours everything. He just wanted his foot in the door. And boy, did you people give that to him. Wait till you see what he does with it. He's done so many amazing things already. Straight up Hitler shit. Camps, mass men with machine guns, kidnapping people. Military turned on us. Money being offered to third world shitholes to enslave people. Going around the world taking what he wants, bombing here, there, and everywhere. Wait till you see where he takes it, son. You're going to be so glad you voted for him. This is Donnie talking about Big Bad Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. Donnie's been wanting to fire him, get rid of him for a while. I don't know why he hasn't. When I think about the situation, you don't get to the top of the Federal Reserve by being a nice guy and by not having some really fucking powerful friends. It's a world you and I can't imagine. A guy or a woman that can make it to the top of the Federal Reserve. We can't even imagine what kind of power that person has and who their friends are. That's why they're there. And I have a feeling that's why Donnie's afraid to fire him. Because once you make that move against someone as powerful as Jerome Powell, now all he and his friends are your enemy. And they can move mountains with their money and influence. We have a fool at the Federal Reserve. I mean, Biden reappointed him. Donnie appointed him in the first place. It's too bad. You would have thought he wouldn't have done that. Jerome Powell was appointed by Trump, right? Right. Donnie with Bibi again standing at the podiums. I was a wartime president in more places than just Israel. He was heaping praise on Bibi. He was saying Bibi's a wartime president. I like what he's doing. He's handling everything well. And then Donnie went to brag about himself. I was a wartime president in more places than just Israel, so I guess I was a wartime president too. Oh, Donnie was a wartime president, is a wartime president, and wait till you see the wars he's going to start. You ready for World War III, son? You might miss the Cowboys game. That's my team, actually. I haven't watched football in a long time, though. Knowing it's the apocalypse have made many things, and for years, many things have just become kind of irrelevant to me. knowing what I know. It's hard to take any sporting event seriously anymore for me. It really is. Donnie talking about Iran again. Iran may be behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed. But if it's confirmed, they know the consequences. The consequences will be very powerful, maybe more powerful than last time. The reporter asked, do you have any evidence they're behaving badly? Donnie, this is just what we hear. You mean from Bibi, who wants you to bomb Iran some more? Is that what you mean? Trump on the Syrian president who used to be Al-Qaeda, who had like a $10 million bounty on his head. Now he's the leader, shaking hands with the president. Whatever. Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara, a former Al-Qaeda leader. I respect him. He's a very strong guy, and that's what you need in Syria. You can't put a choir boy. We get along with him great. I can't ask for any more. And that's code for Syria's building me a free resort. Any country that builds me a resort, tariffs go away, I treat them better than my friend. That's what he means. Donnie, again, we're thinking about bringing a suit against Powell for incompetence. That's over the Federal Reserve building. Do you remember that moment? Donnie's standing next to Big Bad Jerome after he talked abject shit on Jerome. And Donnie added a bunch, millions of dollars to a construction project involving the Federal Reserve renovation. And right on camera in front of the whole fucking world, Jerome looks at the plans and asks for the numbers. Donnie gives him the numbers. Jerome's like, whoa, that sounds, it went up. Donnie's like, yeah, it went up a little bit. And he's like, oh, I see what you did. You added this other building in that shouldn't be added in. Added millions to the value of the project. Those millions would have went right in Donnie's pocket. Jerome exposed the whole fucking thing live on camera in front of everybody. That's standard procedure with Donnie. That's why he got caught. Any construction project, including maybe a ballroom, for instance. Millions will be added to the loan or price tag of that project, and that percentage will go right in Donnie's pocket. That's every project he's ever done. How do I know? What happened with Jerome? Donnie looked like a boy at the principal's office who knew he did something wrong. It was almost comical watching Jerome discover it. Donnie be like, oh yeah, the thing went up a little bit. Jerome caught him literally trying to add millions of dollars of taxpayer money, that's who's going to pay for it, onto a project that wasn't necessary so he could pocket it. Trump on Hamas. They're going to be given a very short period of time to disarm. We'll see how that works out. Witkoff and Kushner will be in charge of that from our side, but if they don't disarm as they agreed to, there will be hell to pay. So he's made a threat against Iran, bombing them again. Now he's making a threat against Gaza, bombing them again. Can Donnie get his peace prize now? Donnie, I'm not concerned about anything that Israel is doing. Again, he got asked, are you concerned with this thing that people are complaining about that Israel's doing? Oh, no, they can do whatever they want. That's basically what Donnie is saying. This is Iran. Before I found out, late in the day today, because no one was really sure. Before I found out that the CIA bombed Venezuela and Donnie blabbed classified fucking information that he wasn't supposed to, I saw this picture of Iran. Anti-regime protests in Iran continued for a second day after the currency crashed and the central bank chief resigned. Okay, that's the apocalypse over there. This is what it looks like. One little scene from it. I thought to myself, okay, the CIA's working on them. We looking for a collapse of Iran after the Reich just bombed them, after Bibi bombed them. Now the currency crashes. So I just thought to myself, okay, and now there's riots. Okay, the CIA's working in Iran and getting things going, along with the bombings and the other shit. That was my first thought. They've been trying to take down Iran for a long time. It's such a weird dichotomy, though, again, because Donnie Krasnov is owned by Putin. But Donnie has his own agenda, and so do other war hawks and people in the military, the right-wing people that want to see that temple go up, that are Nazis, etc. They're fucking with chief vassals of Russia, Iran, because Bibi wants it. And Donnie wants control of the Holy Land for some reason. So it's very strange. Donnie's in league with Vlad, yet he's attacking vassals of Vlad. Venezuela is totally a vassal of Russia. Iran, my God, it's one of their closest allies, Iran. I had been wondering what kind of things Russia was giving other countries, their allies. I just found out a boat was sunk or sank, and it was going from Russia to North Korea. And you know what it had on it? 2 nuclear reactors. That's the type of shit going from Russia to their vassals. That's what I'm worried about. One of their vassals having something that we don't know about or the Reich doesn't know about, and they use that shit, and the Reich takes a big ass hit. So there's this kind of weird, and both situations are true. He is Donnie Krasnov. He's utterly owned by Vlad. Yet he wants these resources in these other countries, and he has an agenda in the Holy Land. So does Bibi. Vlad's kind of in league with them, but not, yet owns Donnie. And Donnie's attacking his vassals. It's just, it's so fucked up. And that's the thing about Donnie. All the people that think they have control of him, again, Bibi, Vlad, they'll find out in the end that they don't. And Donnie attacking his vassals is kind of a signal of that. That Donnie's agenda, greed, God complex, the hammer that he has that Vlad does not, the American military. I have a feeling all that will snap the leash and it'll just gradually get more and more out of control. And the couple people that had a leash on them, those leashes will snap as well. And Bibi will realize when he turns on him, and Vlad will realize when he turns on him. oh shit, I unleashed a beast. And now I'm doomed. Let me move on. Again, this is the actual this was actually when Donnie was standing next to Big Bad Jerome, and Jerome was looking at the papers. And he caught Donnie in the you know what the mob does? There's a construction project. Yeah, it's gonna cost 900 million. It really costs 2 and they pocket 7. That's what I'm talking about. That's Donnie. Trump just called on Jerome to resign and announced that he'll probably bring a lawsuit against him over the Fed HQ renovations and may still fire him. Donnie keeps talking about it. What's he afraid of? Donnie's the guy that's not afraid to fire anybody, I thought. He's the tough guy. Again, son, you don't get to the top of the Federal Reserve without having some very powerful fucking friends. So Donnie's obviously scared for a reason. I sure as fuck wouldn't want to make enemies as the president or some high-level figure of the board of the Federal Reserve. I just don't understand why Donnie doesn't pull the trigger, and that's all I can come up with. That Jerome is got the real clout and power, and so do his friends. We'll see. Again, Donnie's out of control. He needs a stimulation of the economy for 5 seconds because his grift shows more and more every day. And now we're at the end. I thought this was a brilliant point, and I've been thinking the same thing. This is the Department of Labor, a government account. And the little comment at the bottom is what I'm trying to show you. U.S. Department of Labor, we will bring an end to the Somali fraud network. They've been demonizing Somalians in Minnesota, is it, lately? The federal government flat out saying there's a Somalian fraud network that demonizes a whole group of people. Imagine a government Twitter account which said, we will bring an end to the Jewish fraud network. We would rightly call that out as anti-Semitic. But anti-Somali, anti-black, anti-immigrant racism, and sweeping bigotry and collective guilt is fine, it seems. Yep. Look, what you're witnessing before you with this type of rhetoric is the same playbook and the same rhetoric Hitler used against the Jews. This is a modern Nazi movement. Their eventual target is U.S. citizens and Jews and the real Christians. That's where they want to end up. The illegal immigrant and the 170 U.S. citizens they've already kidnapped are the doorway to that end. I promise you. Back again, this is a modern Nazi movement. Nazism was not very popular. The obvious playbook would be a bunch of people getting up on a microphone and saying we want to round up Jews and go after Jews. So they can't go that route from second one, right, class? No, they can't. We've already seen that movie, even though that's their religion and that's what they want to do. But we've already seen the movie. So you can't start the movement out with that argument, even though it's the argument you want to make. You have to start the movement out with, these Latin immigrants are taking all of our jobs. We need to round them up and deport them. The Haitians were demonized right when the election took place, I believe, or shortly after. The Somalis that have come to America are being demonized. The only acceptable immigrant is white South African. Donnie also included later on, he'd like to see some people from Norway and that part of the world as well. We know what that means. Nazi salute on Inauguration Day. Donnie did his on July 4th. I don't care if you don't remember it. I saw it. I know it happened. There's a reason there's no footage of that moment, too. Footage to where you can actually see. There's a reason there's no pictures of it as well. What I'm trying to tell you flat out and bluntly, the reality you are in, I don't care if you agree, who you voted for, your political beliefs, I don't care. I am telling you flat fucking out your reality, and you should listen. Replace everything they're saying with the word Jews, and you'd have Adolf fucking Hitler and the Third Reich. Do you understand that? And that's where they want to end up, son. Jews, U.S. citizens, the real Christians. You are seeing, with these proclamations by the government, by the Reich, by Donnie, by Stephen Miller, you are seeing the Nazi Party, instead of saying Jews, because they don't like any ethnic minorities, and neither did the Third Reich. But Jews were the real target, because that's Satan's target, son. Trust me, you don't need to know. You don't need to understand it. I'm telling you. That's why I'm here. They can't start their argument, their Reich, with let's round up Jews. Because we've seen that movie before. So they have to start their argument, their Reich, with let's round up the brown skin or Latin immigrant. Let's harass people that look Latin. Let's harass the black populations that came over more recently, like the Somalis, the Haitians, etc. And then eventually, we'll get to where we really want to be. The Jews, U.S. citizens, the real Christians. That is your reality right now. And I don't care how many times they have Bibi Netanyahu at the fucking White House. I don't care how many times Donnie shakes hands with Jewish people. He is a fucking Nazi. Stephen Miller, Leon Thale, the entire Reich, they are Nazis. Number one core tenet. which is the reason why they don't say it. The very reason why they don't say the word Jew and let's round them up. Because the number one tenet of Nazism, the number one goal of Nazism, besides power, was elimination of the Jews. We've all seen the movie, Everybody on the Planet. That's why, that's the literal reason they cannot start the movement off with those arguments. But son, again, I am here to fucking tell you, that's exactly where they want to end up. So, Bibi, you got a betrayal coming. You all do. The entirety of Israel, the entirety of the Jewish community around the world and in America. You have a betrayal coming your motherfucking way. Expect it. These are Nazis for the millionth time. They did not forget the number one core tenet of Nazism. They live it, they breathe it, they believe it. So one more time and I'll end this piece of shit. Right now, you are watching the arguments that Adolf Hitler and the Reich made in late 30s Germany, early 40s Germany. They decided to make the original or one of the main enemies the focus. These foreign Jews that are moving in here. They're the reason why Germany's so fucked up. Let's round them up and take what they have and kill them. In America, the American Reich, the Fourth Reich, I'll call them, Donnie Miller, Thale, Leon, etc. They're making a similar argument, wouldn't you say? Jerk off. These Latin immigrants came here and they're taking all the jobs. It's not that an apartment costs $3,000 a month for a closet. It's not corporate greed and us elites up at the top robbing you fucking blind. It's the illegal immigrant. That's why you live in a trailer in Nebraska. We got to round them up. We got to put them in camps. Realize where you are in history, and it ain't a fucking joke this time. And it ain't just another motherfucking political commentator in your face like you've seen for the past 20, 30 years saying it's the end. Saying, you know, America's over just because they don't like the president. Oh no, son, it's all real this time. And again, just what you've seen should convince you right now. You shouldn't need any more convincing. My God. Camps again. Masked men with machine guns. Our own military turned on us. Bombings fucking all over the place. Stolen oil tankers. CIA bombings. Vlad flying drones into fucking Chernobyl. You don't know you in it, son? You better ask somebody. One more time and I'm going to end it. I know I promised. You are watching the Nazis of the 1930s and 40s as they were making their arguments against Jews, liberals, whatever. You're watching that very thing take place right now. They just saving the Jews for last because they have to. They have no choice. They just chose, again, they chose the Latin immigrant as their origin of demonization point. And to prove my case, One statement by Donnie Shitbags. Next up is the homegrowns. That's you, idiot. The American citizen. So, one more time. They started off demonizing the Latin illegal immigrant. We got to round them up, put them in camps. Then Donnie talked about expanding it outward. Right in front of the cameras with the third world dictator, tyrant, who puts people in a death camp forever for money. Next up is the homegrowns. And then they laughed. I said back in January, other groups would be added, the umbrella would get bigger, it would end up over more people for the roundups, for the concentration camps so many of you think are so wonderful. I wonder if you'll still think it's wonderful when they start grabbing the homegrowns, and you one of them. Because I know so many of you maggots in the future, as America crashes and burns further and further and you lose more and more, you're going to get pissed off. And you're going to say something or you're going to do something. And the Reich's going to notice you. Even though you voted for it. You're going to do it out of anger. Maybe you say something. Who knows? It could be something simple. And then you, son, one of the people that was saying how great these camps are, how great these roundups are, how great a Reich rounding up people just like fucking 30s Germany. It's going to be you getting rounded up as an enemy of the Reich. All because of your vote. All because of what you preach for so many years. He already proved me right, son. One more time. First, it was the Latin immigrant. Next up, though, is the homegrowns. Straight out of Donnie's mouth, in front of the fucking cameras. That's a Reich. Same playbook as Nazi Germany. Everything Stephen Miller says, everything Donnie says, replace it with the word Jews. And you'll think you're in 1930s Germany again. So what does that tell you about what they're saying, even though it's not about Jews? You in 1930s Germany again, and eventually it's going to be about Jews. That's what you're living in right fucking now. Every day we watch it on the news. We watch them say it out loud with their crowd of choice to demonize was the beginning point, the starting point. In Hitler's Germany, it was liberals and the foreign Jewish invader. Kind of sounds similar to what's going on. Liberals being demonized, threatened to be locked up every 3 seconds, some of them with fake cases that have already been dismissed, because that's how fake they are. And lock up the foreign invader. It's the same exact argument Adolf Hitler made. Have a wonderful evening. And don't take the mark. Because you've already voted for the Antichrist. At least do your God some favor. Don't take the fucking mark. Do yourself the favor. God just going to throw you in the fucking lake. He could probably care less. Anyway, have a wonderful evening.